Second, you have the digital skills, which relates to anything that would allow you to create content online. Because everything is online nowadays, it doesn't matter what your passion might be, chances are you'll need to do something online with that passion in order to succeed. So this includes things like being able to grow on social media platforms, creating websites, any form of film, art, editing, and marketing in general. And finally, there are the social skills. The better you are at making friends, getting your thoughts across, and working with others, the more success you'll see. This is a must-have for any sort of business or career path that you eventually want to go down. This includes things like charisma, attraction, persuasion skills, working with a team, writing, and even how fluent you are with certain languages. You see, the world is eventually going to have one shared language in the future, and it's probably going to be English. And if you want to be able to make a decent living with your future passion, then you definitely need to become fluent in English in order to tap into the most profitable market in the world. Which actually brings us to the sponsors of today's video, Lingoda. What if I told you that you could fine-tune your English speaking in the description 15th of 2021 if you attend 30 classes? I've been working able to tap and small. You are assigned a teacher to work with. I was exposed to hundreds of new things. I interacted with thousands of people. I went into their homes and learned about their lives. I had different roles in my company. I started off focused solely on the sales, and then my focus became teaching, and it eventually evolved into leading a team. And over time, I started to realize that the part that I enjoyed the most out of all these new experiences was training people. This is something that I would have never guessed that I would enjoy. It was something that I stumbled upon only because I exposed myself to hundreds of different experiences. And chances are you have multiple hidden passions like this in your life as well. The only catch is that you got to explore the world in order to stumble upon these things. So if you spent your entire life in school, or if you've been spending the last couple of years at the same job, then you really need to get out there and try out new things if you ever want to figure out what it is that you want to do. Go get a part-time job in a retail store, go work on a construction site, go volunteer at a soup kitchen, try out things that offer completely new experiences so that you can increase your chances of finding something that you are actually interested in. Maybe when you start working construction, you realize you love managing projects. Maybe when you work in retail, you realize you love chatting with customers. Maybe when you volunteer in the soup kitchen, you realize you like cooking for others. You only need to spend a couple of weeks doing these things in order to be exposed to the dozens of small experiences that come with them. This gives you enough time to spot any hints as to where your passions might lie, all while helping you build up fundamental skills at the same time. And that's basically what you should be doing if you are lost in life. You need to expose yourself to as many new experiences as possible, all while building up your fundamental skills so that when you do figure things out, you'll have a much higher chance of success. This is what worked for me, and I hope it works for some of you as well. Besides that, guys, stay tuned.
That's my man's. Let's get another one in there. Remember, we talking about being lost. That's what we are.
Do you really want to spend the rest of your life watching ads? Guys, just download Pi. It's a free Google Chrome extension and it basically blocks ads for you. And it actually
Hey Sectors, welcome back to another
Literally not a
and the external environment are linked in ways that go beyond standard cause and effect. In this video, we will explore the nature of synchronicities and 5 different types of synchronicities we may encounter. We'll see how, by learning to identify them and decipher their hidden messages,
I didn't know there was different types. Oh, we about to watch this whole thing.
we can synchronize with the universal flow and our higher self, attracting into our lives what we desire in total harmony. Let's begin. Synchronicities are very important because they are personal proof that reality is sometimes malleable, unstable, and sensitive to our consciousness. As Albert Einstein said, reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one.
Yes, very.
Synchronicities demonstrate that this world behaves more like a collective dream or a matrix-like simulation than an independent physical construction. Quantum physics has shown that physical events are ultimately determined by metaphysical factors. The observer, by the act of observing, determines...
Hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. Good to be in here with y'all on another Friday. I know y'all been ready for the weekend for a long time, so I ain't gonna hold y'all back from it. Let's get our motivation in here for the day, and then we get started. Our topic for today is hacking life. I got a plan on what we're gonna watch and what we're gonna talk about, but just bear with me. But that's the topic for right now. So let's get this motivation in and let's get started. Switch over to that scene. Switch over to that scene. I see you out there, Big Glack. Appreciate you for stopping through. Motivation for success. Let's see what we got.
Now you only need one subscription instead of multiple AI tools. One of my secret weapons is
Listen to me. Once you realize who you are, you stop operating in desperation.
Y'all listen up.
You stop saying yes to stuff you ain't supposed to be saying yes to. So here's my big problem with a lot of y'all is your belief system is off. Like, everybody can see how sweet you are. People are commenting on, well, you could do this and you could do that, and you the only one ain't caught up with it yet. Gee, why you always on beast mode? I'm shocked more people are on beast mode. There are people who living from check to check and they comfortable.
My bad.
It's the weirdest thing to me. I'm like, boo, you broke.
I'll make sure I send out the notifications to y'all. Sorry.
You broke on several levels. We're not talking about this mode. There are people who living from check to check and they comfortable. It's the weirdest thing to me. I'm like, boo, you broke. And you broke on several levels. We're not talking about Sally Mae. You still owe your grandma. I'm talking about you need to cash your grandma out. Listen to me, unless you number one in your industry, you shouldn't be chilling. And if you number one in your industry, you got enough common sense to know you better not be chilling. Every single day of my life, I feel like giving 120. Every single day. Somebody said yesterday, E.T., you gave 120. What you gonna do tomorrow? I said, I don't know. Give 140. I don't know, but I don't have days where I don't feel like it. Why? Because I'm counting on me. My wife's counting on me. My son's counting on me. I don't have days to waste. There's nothing wrong with the opportunity. You're not giving 120. You're giving 70. You're giving 60. You're giving 50. And you want what these people who've given sweat, who's given blood, who's given tears, you want what they paid for, and it ain't free. You don't belong at the bottom, and it's time for you to get your butt from down there. It's time for you to stop being comfortable at the bottom. Get your butt up and get to where you're supposed to be. The Bible says he was in a pig pen and he came to himself and he went home. Get your butt up. You are a royal priesthood. Get where you belong. Do what you're supposed to do. Live like you're supposed to live. You got all the stuff. You got it all. But you will not outwork me because your height has nothing to do with my work ethic. Your face has nothing to do with my work ethic. Your two-parent background has nothing to do with my work ethic. You will not outwork me. On your jet, you will not outwork me. In your Bentley, you will not outwork me. You will not outwork me. Get up. Act like you playing basketball. Act like you playing football. Compete. That's what bothers me. Many of y'all are not competing. I need effort. Compete. Go to class. I just left for school telling these kids, act like you playing football. Go in that doggone classroom. Compete. Many of you have lost your competitive edge. Get your competitive edge back. I'm not against no other motivational speaker. I'm just competitive. Some of you are not successful because every single time you run up against a trial, every time you run up against a tribulation, you stop and you cut off beast mode. And what I'm here to tell you is, if you tell that thing, I'm here just like you here, and I promise you, I ain't leaving without the degree. I ain't leaving. I will not leave without that goal. I will not leave without that dream. I will not leave this opportunity until I get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You don't punish yourself. Somebody said, "E, you losing weight." I punish myself. I don't eat meat no more. That's a punishment. Because I remember when I was eating meat, I didn't look like this. I had to give something up to go up. What do you give up? When you don't make the 203 a day, do you not watch TV? That's your problem. You get to watch TV and not make money and still survive. You gotta hear what I'm saying. The reason why you broke is because you getting a reward and you ain't working. I'm not scared that some kid's gonna take my spot. If he does, he's gonna have to do it with sweat. He's gonna have to do it with tears. He's gonna have to do it with blood.
Okay.
He is going to have to get up at 2:30 in the morning. If he can get up every day at 2:30, he deserves to take my spot. Some people are taking your spot and they shouldn't take it, but because you're average, it's easy to take your spot.
Right.
It's easy. It's easy to get to the place before you get there. It's easy to take that client before you get to him. It's easy. It's easy to beat you. Why? You average. Everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do. There's nothing that can stop me because my motives are pure. And the purer your motives are, that you guarantee yourself success. When you're doing stuff for yourself, you can't guarantee it's going to blow up.
Right.
And no disrespect, but this is why I need you to get your motives have to be pure. This is why. Because what happens is for each motive, it's a different level of energy. And some of you have like big dreams, but your energy is like a AAA battery. Your battery got to be able to push that dream. And if you got a big old dream, but you got a small engine, you're not going to be able to push it. If dreams were easy, everybody would make them happen. The problem is that I watch most people, they can't get up in the morning. They ain't got no energy. I'm walking through the airport running almost. Most people that I'm with, they don't got the energy to keep up with me. I'm like, boo, ain't nothing wrong with you. You just ain't got the stamina. You just ain't got the energy. You can't smart everything. You can't outthink everything. Some stuff is just, you gotta be powerful. It's just some stuff that you gotta have stamina for. You just too slow. It just take you too long. You wake up, take you 3 weeks to do what it could take 24 hours to do. It don't make you a bad person, but you're gonna forever be average because to be great, you got to keep up.
Yes, sir.
Today might not be the day, but soon it will be my day, and I will recycle my pain. Say, what do you mean, E.T.? You recycled your pain. I turned homelessness into a book. I turned my father not being in my life to a book. I turned an estranged relationship with my mom into a book. I turned being homeless into a book. I turned being a high school dropout into a bestseller. And not only do they sell it in America, they sell it across the world. What will you do with your pain? Will you let it break you or will you let it redefine you?
My Geico motorcycle policy can cover my helmet too.
Mercy.
So if it gets damaged, they'll replace
Y'all
it.
know y'all need
I'm on
it,
cloud
Mercy.
9.
Disclaimer, clouds are wholly unable to support the weight of an adult human. Furthermore, clouds are not numbered.
My son, my daughter, they drive me. What drives you? And this is why I'm telling you, because if a house drive you, you sweet, you gonna get one. Then what you gonna do when you finish? It's what she said. She blew this business up, and now she don't want to do it no more. You know how hard it is to blow a business up? You know how many people wish they could do what she's doing? But yet she finished with it. Why? Because that thing was not strong enough to drive her. The Nobel Prize, that'd take me forever. I picked something that would drive me for the rest of my life. You doing it because somebody else told you to do it. You want to drive a Rolls Royce because everybody else drives it. You want to live in that house because everybody else living in that house. Like you got affirmation problems. You're not doing it because you really want to do it. You're doing it because you want to be affirmed. Let me tell you something. That's a great place to start. But when you get to your root, it's a whole nother level.
Right.
Take all your energy for the dream because you're going to need it. And so if the second thing I can teach you is, for every dream you have, take at least a week or 30 days and write down every single thing that it's gonna take to make it happen. And I want you to know something. After you write everything down, you still have not written everything down because you don't know what's gonna happen. And so life normally breaks you because when it hits you, you wasn't ready. But if you ready, if you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready and you stay plugged up, when you hear bad news, it don't break you because you already energized. You have to eat the dream. You have to sleep the dream. You have to dream the dream. You gotta touch, you have to see it when nobody else sees it. You have to feel it when it's not tangible. You have to believe it when you cannot see it. You gotta be possessed with the dream.
Let's go. Hey, if you ain't motivated, ready to get what you gonna get, you ain't gonna get nothing. All right, let's go. So today we hacking life. Let's start simple. We're gonna start simple, and we're gonna go to complex. This gonna seem complex, but it's simple. All right, relationship hacks. Let's see.
Fellas, if you knew there was one simple thing you could do just 15 minutes a day that would make your woman think about you constantly, crave your presence, and feel a deep emotional addiction to you, would you do it? Here's the crazy part. 99% of men don't. And that's exactly why women lose interest, get bored, and eventually start looking elsewhere. The truth is, attraction isn't just about how you look, how much money you make, or how good you are in bed, right? It is about how you make her feel on a daily basis. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to give you a 15-minute relationship hack that will flip the script and make her obsessed with you without you having to beg for her attention or change who you are. Curious? Let's go. Jessica OS here, welcome to the channel. Women don't just wake up one day and think, you know what, I don't like him anymore. That's not how it works. It's gradual. And if you don't catch it early, you wake up one day wondering why she's suddenly acting different, why she's not as affectionate, why she's always busy, and why she's responding with those dry text messages. And the truth is, it's your fault. Not because you're a bad guy, not because you don't care about her, but because you stopped doing the little things that made her feel emotionally connected to you in the first place. And when that connection weakens, she'll start looking for it elsewhere. See, men put all this effort into getting the girl, texting her every day, planning dates, making her feel special, and then what happens? Once she's yours, you start to get comfortable. In actual fact, it's not just a men thing, it's a human thing, you know? But you start thinking, oh, she knows I love her. You assume she's always gonna feel the same way. But that's where you begin to mess up. Let me tell you something about women. Attraction isn't just about how you look, how much money you make, or how smooth you are in bed. I can't say this enough. Those things matter, but mostly at first. What keeps a woman obsessed is how you make her feel when she's with you. That emotional connection, that's everything. And if she stops feeling connected, you could be the best looking, richest, most charming guy in the world, but she'll start pulling away and looking for someone else. And that's why you find some guys saying, oh, I don't get it. I did everything right. I treated her well. I was loyal. I paid for everything, and she still left me. No surprise there. It's because you did all the obvious things, but forgot the one thing that actually makes women stay. You forgot to make her feel emotionally hooked. And that's why this video is so important. I'm going to give you that 15-minute relationship hack, because if you do it right, she will literally feel a pull towards you that she can't explain. Trust me, once a woman is emotionally addicted to you, she's yours. So here's the deal. You don't need to spend hours.
She's never really going to give us the hack. She's just going to keep. The whole message is the hack. It's not like one spot she gonna give it, just in case y'all wondering.
Every day trying to impress her. In fact, you don't need romantic, like grand romantic gestures or expensive dates either. What you need is 15 minutes of deliberate, high-quality interaction every single day. That's it. Once you start using this, you'll notice an instant shift in the way she looks at you, talks to you, and craves your attention.
Therapy has always been such a scary idea to me because
she did give us the hack, so I think we should move on. You just spend that deep quality time with her for 15 minutes, however long, every single day. You can't skip a day. All right, let's go. Let's get some general life hacks I didn't know. Hold on, let me turn this PlayStation down in my ear. All right, let's see. This is fun enough.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Top Think. Today,
that ain't fun enough. I need something simple. All right, let's go.
19 simple psychological tricks that actually work. There are all kinds of fancy books on neuro-linguistic programming and psychology that can help professionals get what they want from others. But there are also much simpler, yet just as effective methods that anyone can use on a daily basis. Here are 19 of them. Be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell to join us on the bright side of life. 1. Never start your request with the words, "Could you?" It can cause the other person to subconsciously assume that this is a theoretical question. For example, avoid questions like, "Could you call the neighbors?" Because the answer yes can mean, "Yes, I theoretically could, but I didn't agree to it." Sure, could is polite, but it's better to rephrase your request to, "Please call the neighbors," if you want to be sure that it'll be fulfilled. 2. If you ever want to make someone feel uncomfortable, look at the middle of their forehead during the conversation. Most people say it makes them feel like they're under scrutiny, which, of course, doesn't exactly make a person relaxed. Not sure why you'd want to do this to others, but who knows, the situation may arise. 3. If someone you're talking to is trying to avoid answering a question, just make a pause in the conversation while still keeping eye contact. They'll feel uncomfortable and, thus, will keep talking. Chances are they'll give you more details about the issue you're interested in. They may even start telling you the truth, if they were lying, since they'll believe that your silence and your look are signs that you already know the real facts. 4. Let's say you've started a new job or school. If you want someone in the office or class to like you, just ask them to explain something to you. It doesn't matter if you know the answer or not. This will improve the other person's overall attitude towards you and earn you some extra brownie points. 5. When asking a question that you want an affirmative answer to, try to nod subtly as you make your request. This trick is often used by restaurant. Try to nod subtly as you make your request. This trick is often used by restaurant employees to make guests buy more food, and it's pretty effective. 6. If a person is really concentrated on a task, let's say they're in the middle of a serious phone conversation, you can extend your hand to them and get anything they're holding at the moment. They might not even remember later on. The trick works the other way around too. You can give them something as you're talking to them, and they won't even notice. Pretty helpful when you're cleaning up or moving to a new house. 7. If you want somebody to do something for you, casually say how they probably wouldn't even be able to do it. Most people will try really hard to prove someone wrong when it comes to doubting their capabilities. You can also make a small or unusual request before getting down to the main issue. In this case, you'll establish a connection with the person, so they probably won't have the heart to turn you down afterwards. 8. Just like with questions you need to get an affirmative answer to, start nodding just a little bit during a conversation. Interestingly enough, this will make the person you're talking to more attentive to your words, and they won't even realize why. 9. Here's a good one for negotiations. If you like a person's offer in general, but would like to get better conditions, prepare to be a little bit disappointed. This method can work like magic with a high price or a low salary. 10. As soon as your alarm clock goes off, sit up, make 2 fists, and yell, "Yeah!" as if you're a soccer player who's just scored a goal. It sounds bizarre, but it really does help you easily get out of bed feeling refreshed. Just try it for yourself and let us know down in the comments if it worked for you. 11. If you're always worried whether or not you locked the door or turned your iron off, just say some absolutely absurd phrase when you're doing these things. The phrase could be different every single day. For example, you say green rabbit and turn the iron off, or oppressive crab and lock the door. The next time you start doubting whether or not you did something, you'll remember saying this weird phrase, and it'll calm you down. 12. If a person tries to pull you into an argument or
I'm using that one because I constantly do that. Just be like, hey, doodoo fat or doodoo face or something crazy. Black meringue. Dumb angles. Every time I do something I want to remember.
kind of drama, say something nice to them. The old kill 'em with kindness trick really does stop them in their tracks. Another technique is to keep your calm and remain silent. There's nothing more irritating than being ignored. However, if you're trying to avoid an argument with your friend or partner, try to put yourself in their shoes. This can help you understand if there's some point in their objections that you're missing. 13. If you have that one lazy person on your team that slows the whole work process down, don't give them tasks by saying, "Do this." It's better to say, "Start with this." Psychologically, it'll seem like there's less work because, according to this phrase, they should start with something small. After they've done the first task, use the words, "Very good. Now, continue with this," until they end up finishing what you wanted them to do in the first place. 14. If you have to speak in public, don't forget to take a bottle of water with you. First of all, you'll need it since your nerves will make your mouth feel like the Sahara Desert. Plus, you can take a pause to sip some water in order to remember a part of your speech that slipped your mind. The audience will never know. And if you feel too anxious to speak in front of a large crowd, admit this fact to the audience right away. It lightens the mood, calms your nerves, and it makes your listeners feel more sympathetic since most of them can probably relate. 15. If someone is staring at you in the subway, happens all too often, right? Just look at their shoes. Don't give up. Keep gazing. It'll drive them crazy. 16. If you seem really worried each time you see someone you know, in the end, this person will also start feeling worried every time they see you. So do with that information what you will. 17. If someone has done something wrong, but you don't want to sound too accusing, change the way you construct your sentences. For example, instead of saying, "You didn't close the window before you left," you can say, "The window was left open all night." They'll learn from their mistake, and you won't seem like a meanie pointing the finger. 18. If you didn't get a good night's sleep, tell yourself.
That one don't necessarily work as well because they know damn well they ain't closed that window and you talking to them. And they gonna be like, "Well, I meant to leave it open."
Oh, that you did. I know, it sounds like nonsense, but it does work 100% if you... 18. If you didn't get a good night's sleep, tell yourself that you did. I know, it sounds like nonsense, but it does work 100% if you say it with meaning. Scientists from Colorado College published a study in the Journal of Experimental Psychology in which they found that if you genuinely believe that you're well rested, even if you're not, your brain does function better. 19. People are better at remembering what happened at the beginning and end of the day. As for anything that went on in between, it gets blurry. This is a great tip when it comes to job interviews. Agree to a time that's either at the start of the workday or at the end of it. This way, the employer will remember you among all the other candidates. Do you know any other effective tricks that can help you get...
All right, let's keep moving on. I ain't got no time for that. All right. What else? What other hacks that I want to know? Oh, wrong letters. Conversation hacks. Let's see what's up. I know this kind of like the same thing, but look at my man's.
You are already ahead of 90% of the people your age if you can just communicate competently. It is statistically proven that the people who are better communicators, they get better job opportunities and make more money, and they attract higher quality of the opposite sex. And if you look at the people under the age of 25 nowadays, you will see that there is a supply and demand issue. There's a demand for good communicators, but there's not a lot of supply. And when there's not a lot of supply, you don't necessarily need to be the best. You just need to be okay. So you'd be pretty dumb to click off this video because this video might just save the rest of your entire life. Being a good communicator is the equivalent of being a 6'3" handsome man nowadays in our generation. So let me show you how. When I was 12 years old, I was in year 6 at the time, I was captain of my primary school and I think maybe 30 or 40 kids because I was probably the best speaker there.
I always try to encourage other people by telling them to never give up and to always try their best.
And then 3 or 4 months later, I started dating the other school captain, who was a good speaker as well. Around 5 months into our lovey-dovey stage, we decided to go on like a Halloween, trick-or-treating. And one of my friends came along with us two. There was 3 of us. And I could tell that she was extremely attracted to my friend that she hadn't seen before. And when we decided to go home, my girlfriend went to her place and my friend came back to my place. And my friend started to explain to me how he could tell that she was eyeing him. And that just confirmed my suspicions. So that was when I developed a lot of anxiety, a lot of jealousy, and this is where my insecurity started to come in. I started to look myself in the mirror every single day and think I was ugly, even though I wasn't.
I feel you, bro.
Because I had built those insecurities, my communication skills suffered.
Went down, yeah.
Because, probably wondering why I have this picture up here. This pipe represents your inability to speak, okay? This, the tap, the quality of water, represents the quality of your communication. I had, because of my anxiety, developed gunk in this tap. We don't want that. Because you could be, I was a very, very good communicator, but the blockage was holding me back from being a good communicator. You could be the best speaker out there, but if you have a lot of anxiety, a lot of embarrassment, a lot of like a fear of judgment, you're not going to be able to express yourself clearly because it feels like there's a block at your throat. It feels like there's just something blocking you, okay? And the way you get rid of this is by just simply asking yourself where it comes from. What's causing this gunk in the tap? What's causing it? Is it something to do with the start, where it's coming from, right? How can you fix that? It's all about getting to the root cause on why it's there in the first place. Why can't I express myself clearly? Why am I so scared of talking to that girl? Number one exercise you will do in order to improve your communication, okay? Because the gunk is holding you back. I'll leave a video at the end of this video on how I overcame my anxiety, okay? Now, once this is limited, you're never going to be perfect, okay? I get anxious all the time. I get embarrassed all the time. I fear judgment quite a bit, but I just have less gunk than other people do, meaning I'm a better communicator compared to other people, meaning I get better opportunities. People can sense the confidence, okay? So how do we get better quality water, which is your communication skills? I'm gonna share with you 4 crucial things that aren't necessarily hard. They're very, very easy that you can do today to improve this water quality. Number 1, you must realize the intention creates your tension. The intention behind why you speak, okay? I remember when I was in year 7, this is where my insecurities had developed quite a bit. I went up to talk to a pretty attractive girl on the bench at school. It was like my 3rd or 4th day of school. A lot of you guys know this story. And I went in with the intention of talking to this girl to get validated by her. I didn't really want to connect with her. So there was an awkward silence 5 seconds in, and the conversation just ended off there. If I had went in with the intention just to connect with this woman, not to attract her, just to connect with her, find out more about her, trust me, it would have gone so much better. Your intention creates the type of tension. If you're talking to a girl, you just do it to connect with her, not to necessarily attract her. You just be your best self, you spread love, you spread positivity. Trust me, that blockage is going to be reduced and your water is going to be higher quality. This is easy, but not a lot of you would like it. And the second one is to actually read more books. Now the reason I say to read more books, 2 main reasons. Number 1, it increases your vocabulary. Half of the words you probably hear me say that are kind of advanced, even though I don't really say many advanced words because I'm speaking to a younger audience, is from the books I've read. Each time I read, which is usually around 30 to 60 minutes per day, I will highlight 1 to 2 words that aren't too robotic, but I've heard them before and I want to start using more in public. If you just have a really, really simple vocabulary, it's very hard to be a really good communicator. There's like a cap to the quality of water you can be. So expand your vocabulary. Now, second thing, when you're reading, you, most of the time, are mentally
speaking to yourself.
Fuck, I meant to be a good communicator. Rehearsing what you're reading in your mind. There are various studies to prove this. I originally heard it from Andrew Huberman.
That's why I love
reading and how it improves communication. So read more, specifically books that help your future self, because you're gaining knowledge and becoming a better communicator. It is literally a cheat code. Third thing, it kind of goes to eliminating the gunk out of your pipe, and that is improving your looks and improving just your overall appearance. Now, I'm not one of those black pill motherfuckers, looks max type of dudes, yeah? I'm only saying this because when you feel confident, you express how you feel. Get some nice clothes that actually fit you. Me, I wear Kmart clothes. I don't wear nothing special, but I wear clothes that fit me. Get yourself a haircut, start getting better sleep, look after your skin, you know, start eating a clean diet. These really simple things that will improve your looks and improve how you feel, so you naturally feel more confident. Now, the fourth thing that has improved my communication skills, I'd say probably the most, because I do it so much, is speaking on camera. I will play a snippet of me 3 years ago with my first ever YouTube video.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today's video, I'm not going to be bringing you a workout video, but instead I'm going to be giving you 5 tips how to get abs in 4 weeks. Now 4 weeks might sound like a short time, but it really isn't. But if you look like this, then you can maybe add a 0 on top of that 4, because there's definitely nutritional issues going on.
Can you sense the difference?
Yes.
My tone is so much better, my confidence is so much better, simply because I have practiced.
Yes, sir.
So, if you want to jump straight in, go out there and practice in public. A lot of you don't really want to do that, maybe don't have time to do that with school and everything. 10 minutes per day, 5 minutes per day, sit in the chair and just yap to the camera. Document your life. Use it as a journal, right? You're making your life into a movie. Post it on YouTube, private your videos, but you're also improving your communication. That's it from me, and I'll catch you in the next one.
All right. Thanks. Hey, look. So we're 32 minutes in. Let's get some more hacks, money hacks. I know y'all want some money. Some money hacks. Let's get some money hacks. Check this out.
Vaping is stopping you becoming a millionaire. Let me explain. This habit is burning through over $120 a month. But what if you took that $120 and invested it in the S&P 500 and got an average 10% annual return? By retirement, you're looking at over $1.2 million just from quitting vaping. Vaping is stopping you becoming a millionaire. Let me explain. This habit is burning through...
To stop vaping. All right. Let me see. I don't want to see somebody sitting and talking to us, so. We might not be able to get no money hacks. Yep, because they all 8 minutes. I ain't spending 8 minutes listening to somebody tell me nothing. So we're going to skip the money hacks, and let's go to back to some kitchen hacks like before. Let's work. What? They starting off strong. Look at this. Did you know this? I ain't never even know to do this. Let's go. Hey. What? Man, I be messing that part. I be messing that parchment paper up. That's it. They also can put a spoon on it. What? Let me make some money off of that. Look at that. Look at that olive oil, y'all. Look at that olive oil. Pull that olive oil. Put that olive oil. Pull that olive oil. Hey. What? Let's get money. got all the grapes off and cleaned them too as well. Roll, 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 roll your boat, baby. Hey, the ironing board. Hold up, do that again. What happened? Oh, flip that bag, baby. Oh yes, flip that bag, baby. Yes. Now that's good. That's, I'll make sure we do that. Be Miles doing all this. Word. That's easy enough to understand. I seen this one though, putting the tape on the tomato. Fresh. Who don't know to do that? They get weaker. Supposed to be getting better. Y'all get weaker over time. We gonna flip this. They don't give me one that's good. Give me something that's good. Okay, that's too easy. Give me something good. All right. Let's see some car hacks or driving hacks. All right. Let's go.
I'm done spending an obscene amount of money on takeout every week. Done.
I'm getting
Apparently,
back on
after watching
track
this, we'll
with
spend less on
Factor.
gas.
Fresh, new.
Hey,
driving hacks
what's
that
good,
will save you
Reed?
gas
Brother
money. Can you imagine your life without a car? It gives you the luxury of going places in private, fast, well, not during rush hour, but still, and efficient way. However, like all good things, it has a cost. Unless your car is electric and super eco-friendly, you most definitely spend a lot of money on gas. Moreover, there is a direct connection between mileage and the frequency of maintenance services. So, the more you drive, the more it costs you. Brightside put together 10 life hacks that will help you to cut not only fuel, but also maintenance costs. First of all, let's do some brainstorming. Why is gas so expensive? Because oil is? That's right, crude oil, to be precise. It makes up 72% of gasoline price. We pay the remaining 28% for distribution, refining, and taxes. The reasons for gas prices to rise are the weakening dollar, natural disasters, and simple rules of supply and demand. Prices rise when demand is bigger than supply. Prices usually drop down in the winter when fewer people are traveling across the country. We can hardly affect any of the things we just mentioned, but we can affect our choice when buying a car. Some cars are less fuel efficient than others, but we still love them and want to have them. They are ultra high-end luxury cars and large vans and SUVs. Sports cars are already very expensive themselves and also require you to feed their turbocharged engines, which create more horsepower. If you don't have a sports car, but paying for gas is still a nightmare, then you probably own one of the best-selling cars in America: Toyota Camry, Corolla, Prius, and Honda Civic, Accord, and CR-V. Give this video a thumbs up if we guessed it right. Well, we hate to tell you this, but your car is a gas guzzler. Does it mean you have to replace it? Maybe in the future, when the time is right, but for now, we are going to offer you a solution. Here is a list of 10 driving life hacks that will save you gas money. Number 10. Don't put the pedal to the metal. We can see a lot of drivers on the roads who just love to slam on the acceleration. But in driving school, we were told that acceleration and braking should be done smoothly. It was not just because the driving instructor hated your on and off abrupt driving style or was afraid you would damage their car. It was actually a valuable fuel-saving lesson. It is a good idea to travel at a constant speed, around 50 miles per hour, and in the highest gear. The next time you want to get in front of that annoying car in a traffic jam, remember, it will probably not take you any further than the traffic lights anyway. And your gas bill will not please you later. When you accelerate sharply, it makes your car consume more energy. It will do
Let me see.
on the highway. Your vehicle will consume much less fuel if you follow.
All right, those ain't hacks, man. Come on.
If you're wondering how I score top essay marks like these in university, one of my secret weapons.
Oh my gosh, the bright side.
A scratch here, window crack there, safe at speed. To make your life easier, we collected some tips and tell us about 16. Nail polish can almost hide a small scratch on the car's body. After you the scratch a little to make it smooth, your nail polish can stop a windshield crack.
Now, okay, then.
18. Clear nail polish can stop a windshield crack. Yeah, you see this nail stuff is helpful. If a rock hit your windshield and made a deep crack, over time it will only get bigger and bigger. To combat such cracks, use clear nail polish. Put 2 or 3 layers on the crack and it will stop the crack from growing. 14. Turn the steering wheel when you need to leave the car. You've probably had this unfortunate situation. You park your car in hot weather and leave it for just 5 minutes. Though when you come back and, ouch, that steering wheel is already too hot to touch. To avoid this, turn the steering wheel 180 degrees when leaving the car. The part you use to drive will stay in the shadow.
Of course.
13. Get rid of the bright sun. This is a famous pilot's trick. In order not to get blinded by the sun, take an acrylic sheet and put it on the windshield. Acrylic is easily attached to the windshield thanks to static electricity, and it protects your eyes from ultraviolet rays very well.
Go ahead and do that.
12. A bay leaf to prevent car sickness.
Tell people who get
If you've got a long road ahead of you and you're worried that you might get car sick, there's a fantastic solution. You may be surprised, but you just need to put a bay leaf under your tongue. It contains special chemicals that relax the stomach and the nervous system. 11. A smart sunglasses holder. Are you one of those people who doesn't know where to put their sunglasses in the car? There is just the place. Put them on the sun visor. This way, you'll make sure your glasses won't fall on a bumpy road. You can also put your parking. 10. A lemon helps to prevent drowsiness while driving.
Cool. Now I need that.
Unexpectedly, but some citrus fruits work just like a cup of coffee. If you're feeling a bit drowsy when driving, put a piece of lemon under your tongue. This will wake you up very quickly. But still, we don't recommend you to drive when you're tired. 9. Enhanced cup holder. This advice will come in handy to those who find that their cup holder isn't reliable enough. Put a little silicone cupcake case on the bottom of the cup holder. This way, your coffee cup will be secured inside, and all the little pieces of trash will be in the case. Additional bonus, cleaning the cup holder will be much easier.
I need that. I need to do that. I don't know why I ain't think of that
8.
sooner.
Hang a tennis ball in the garage. This trick is especially useful for people who have only been driving for a short time. A tennis ball hanging in the garage can be a point which shows that a wall is near. The ball will help you to feel the car's size more easily, so you won't drive further than necessary. Hit the like button right now. We've got a couple more cards up our sleeve. Now there's a special way to check the quality of the oil in the engine, and you're perfectly capable of doing it yourself. Heat the engine for 5 to 10 minutes and cut the ignition off. Open the hood and put a couple of oil drops onto a sheet of paper. Carefully take the sheet in a warm place and wait for 2 hours for the oil to dry. After that, check the result. If the edges of the spot are smooth, it means there's no water in the oil. The oil is good. If the center is dark or gray, the oil is too dirty. It's time to change it. If metal parts can be seen on the paper, it means that some internal car parts are being damaged. You are using low-quality oil. A light gray or brown circle means there are some particles in the oil that don't dissolve. The oil should be changed. 6. Check the gas quality. Put a drop of gas on a white sheet of paper, blow on it, and wait for the drop to evaporate. If the paper is perfectly white after the experiment, it means that you're using good quality gas. If there's a greasy spot, it means there's some kerosene in the gas. This is how you can check your gas for resin. Put a drop of gas on a glass and set it on fire. After the drop burns, check the color of the circles around it. If they are white, there's no resin in the gas. If they are brown, there's enough resin to damage the engine seriously. Maybe it's time to change the type of gas you use. If you were wondering how to check if any water was added to the gas, here's the way. Pour some gas into a transparent jar and add a little manganese solution. Shake it well and check the color. If the manganese crystals dissolved and the gas became purple or pink, yep, right. It means that water was added to it. 5. Super fast car ventilation. The car left on the parking lot became too hot. You were transporting gourmet French cheeses inside, and now it's a bit too smelly for your liking? Well, don't worry. We've got a perfect solution for both of these problems. Open the door and one of the front windows. Then open and close the door on the opposite side of the car. Do it a couple of times. This trick helps to cool down the car quickly, and it also gets rid of unpleasant smells easily. 4. Use static electricity to fight with your pet's hair. If you own a pet, you know how hard it is to get rid of their hairs, which...
All right, that was the last one. I hope y'all had a good week, everybody. I did. Myself, personally, I'm glad everybody stopped through, everybody enjoyed. And we're going to go ahead and get up out of here for the week on this good old fun Friday. This has been another episode of Expansion Pack, episode 130 to be exact. 130. It's probably been slightly more, but who cares? I've documented 130. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all next week. Mindful Mondays. Peace. This is DGTA TV. Peace.
Data that you've experienced in life saying you can't do it.
Right.
And so what you want to begin to do is ignore that inner conversation. Well, most people, ladies and gentlemen, when something happens to them, what they do is they begin to believe that that's the way it is. That's the way it's always been. And they can't see the possibility of it being any different. And I'm saying that if you know anybody that had some goal, some dream, something they wanted to do, and they did it, then I'm saying that you know in your heart that if someone has done it, then you can do it. It's possible.
It's possible.
And that if someone can make their dream become a reality, that it's possible that you can make your dream become reality. And so as you begin to look at where you want to go, beginning to embrace that, it's possible. I'm blessed and highly favored. I've got a lot going for me. I got some good stuff in me. And it's possible that I can bring my greatness out here in the universe. That I can do what I want to do. It's possible I can write my own book. I can have my own business. I can take the trip and travel around the world. It's possible. I can bounce back from adversity and reinvent my life. It's possible. Regardless of where I am, the things can get better for me. It's possible.
Yes, sir. It's possible. That's all we need to be saying. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and move forward with our day.
Don't listen to people that
All right. We talking about being lost, and I ain't gonna stretch it out too much. I just want y'all to watch some videos real quick.
I knew I was underwater. I just didn't realize I was this underwater. If you're stressed about your paper, just get great.
When I was 19, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. Literally not a clue. I was in college at the time just because my parents pressured me to go, and I was studying subjects that I wasn't even interested in, barely passing my classes. Eventually, I ended up taking a gap year to work and try to figure things out. This decision turned out to be one of the best choices in my life because of two things. If you currently feel lost in life, then you really should be doing these two things if you ever want to figure things out. So pay close attention. The first thing you have to do is work on your fundamentals. There are certain skills that will drastically increase your chances of success at whatever it is that you want to do later in life. So it's always a good idea to spend some time honing these skills if you don't really know what you should be doing in the big picture. See, when I dropped out of college, I ended up working in the world of sales. I basically just walked around and talked to people for like 10 hours a day. And because of this, I ended up honing my social skills, and I also learned how to work my butt off. These two things eventually allowed me to find success later in life when I realized that my passion was teaching and creating content. It was actually a good thing that I didn't know what I wanted to do until later in my life, right? Because let's say I had full clarity back when I was 16 years old, back when I was just a shy, awkward kid who played video games all day. Let's say I knew that I wanted to become a YouTuber back then. The chances of me succeeding would have been much, much lower, at least tenfold. Because back then, my social skills were terrible, so I wouldn't have been able to write and speak well. Back then, my teaching skills were non-existent, so I wouldn't have been able to teach well. And to top all of that off, back then, I didn't have a good work ethic, so there's no way I would have been able to commit 10 to 20 hours every week to creating videos. If my 16-year-old self had embarked on this journey back then, he would have probably spent a whole year creating just a handful of videos, which would have probably received only a couple dozen views. He would have then felt upset about the lack of results, and then he would have lost motivation for the entire project, thinking that maybe this wasn't something that he was so passionate about after all. See, the thing is, in order for you to succeed at something that you are passionate about, you do need to see some degree of progress and success, or else you will lose motivation pretty fast. Now, I'm not talking about like a viral video on your first try, but maybe like a couple hundred or a couple thousand views after making 10 videos. Which is why it's always a good idea to work on your fundamentals first, so that when you do figure out what you're passionate about, you have a much higher chance of actually seeing some sort of success, which will end up motivating you to do more work, which will make you even more successful. Now, at this point in time, you're probably wondering, okay, what are the fundamental skills? Well, they basically fall under 3 categories. Your goal should be to find work or experiences that would help you develop as many of these skills as possible. First, you got the work ethic skills, because you won't be able to succeed at whatever you're passionate about unless you know how to work for long periods of time on that specific thing. So this includes things like increasing your focus, being able to work your butt off for hours, being able to handle rejection, patience, and emotional regulation. Second, you have the digital skills, which relates to anything that would allow you to create content online. Because everything is online nowadays. It doesn't matter what your passion might be, chances are you'll need to do something online with that passion in order to succeed. So this includes things like being able to grow on social media platforms, creating websites, any form of film, art, editing, and marketing in general. And finally, there are the social skills. The better you are at making friends, getting your thoughts across, and working with others, the more success you'll see. This is a must-have for any sort of business or career path that you eventually want to go down. This includes things like charisma, attraction, persuasion skills, working with a team, writing, and even how fluent you are with certain languages. You see, the world is eventually going to have one shared language in the future, and it's probably going to be English. And if you want to be able to make a decent living with your future passion, then you definitely need to become fluent in English in order to tap into the most profitable market in the world. Which actually brings us to the sponsors of today's video, Lingoda. What if I told you that you could fine-tune your English speaking in the description 15th of 2021 if you attend 30 classes? I've been working able to tap and small. You are assigned a teacher to work with. I was exposed to hundreds of new things. I interacted with thousands of people. I went into their homes and learned about their lives. I had different roles in my company. I started off focused solely on the sales, and then my focus became teaching, and it eventually evolved into leading a team. And over time, I started to realize that the part that I enjoyed the most out of all these new experiences was training people. This is something that I would have never guessed that I would enjoy. It was something that I stumbled upon only because I exposed myself to hundreds of different experiences. And chances are you have multiple hidden passions like this in your life as well. The only catch is that you got to explore the world in order to stumble upon these things. So if you spent your entire life in school, or if you've been spending the last couple of years at the same job, then you really need to get out there and try out new things if you ever want to figure out what it is that you want to do. Go get a part-time job in a retail store, go work on a construction site, go volunteer at a soup kitchen, try out things that offer completely new experiences so that you can increase your chances of finding something that you are actually interested in. Maybe when you start working construction, you realize you love managing projects. Maybe when you work in retail, you realize you love chatting with customers. Maybe when you volunteer in the soup kitchen, you realize you like cooking for others. You only need to spend a couple of weeks doing these things in order to be exposed to the dozens of small experiences that come with them. This gives you enough time to spot any hints as to where your passions might lie, all while helping you build up fundamental skills at the same time. And that's basically what you should be doing if you are lost in life. You need to expose yourself to as many new experiences as possible, all while building up your fundamental skills so that when you do figure things out, you'll have a much higher chance of success. This is what worked for me, and I hope it works for some of you as well. Besides that, guys, stay tuned.
That's my man's. Let's get another one in there. Remember, we talking about being lost. That's what we are.
Do you really want to spend the rest of your life watching ads? Guys, just download Pi. It's a free Google Chrome extension and it basically blocks ads for you. And it actually
Hey Psych2Goers, welcome back to another video. Before we start, we would like to thank you all for the support that you've given us. Psych2Go's mission is to make psychology and mental health more accessible to everyone, and you help us do that, so thank you. Now, back to the video. Have you ever gone through a period of time where you felt sad and alone all the time? Even when you're around friends or family, somehow you still feel detached from them and the world. Maybe you don't want to talk about it, but you find that expressing how you feel can make you feel better. And if nothing else, it can make those around you going through the same thing feel less alone. So here is an open letter to anyone who's ever felt lost and alone in the world. If you've ever felt like you were too different from the people around you to ever fit in, or felt unseen, unheard, or misunderstood for too many times to count, or felt like nothing you said or did mattered because no one seemed to care about you, know that you're not alone, and we're here for you. Do you feel like you're insignificant to everyone around you and isolated from all the people you love? Do you find it hard to keep hanging on, day by day? I know. It's not easy. And then it may be the last thing you want to hear right now, but believe me, there is hope that better days are waiting for you. Although I can't promise that it's going to come really soon, that it's going to be easy, or that it'll stay that way once you get there, I can tell you with absolute certainty that it is going to be worth it. I know it's hard to believe, especially if you're in the dark place right now. But you aren't alone. And there are people out there that you can reach out to. Some days, it may feel impossible to listen to anything but the loneliness, grief, and fear that's haunting you. But letting yourself be happy doesn't mean lying to yourself about how you feel. You don't have to fight all the bad things you feel or pretend like they aren't there, because you have the power to decide if it's really worth caring more about than the things that make you happy. Whether it's simply being able to get out of bed, take a shower, or make it through a meal without crying. Happiness can be found even in the tiniest everyday things. Maybe a stranger smiled at you, or held the door open for you. Maybe you had a nice nap or played with your pet. Whatever happiness comes to mean for you, as long as you open your heart to the possibility, you'll find that there are actually dozens and dozens of little ways you can help yourself get better. Life probably didn't turn out how you dreamed it would. Have things not gone the way you planned? Are you still not where you thought you would be after all this time? Let go. Let go of all the things you think your life should or ought to be, and instead, embrace the things you have right now, here, at this moment. You have come